Welcome back to Fast Track. This week in sports, we'll take a look at the men's and women's basketball teams to see if they are still dominating the scoreboards. We'll also catch some highlights with the women's golf team and see how the men's tennis team fared last weekend. All this and more coming up.
Now we'll look at the weekly women's basketball highlights.
In Thursday, February the 12th action, the Boilers went to Minneapolis to play Minnesota, and the Golden Gophers are going to make an early statement. With a 16-13 lead, Minnesota took a Fakar Malone turnover, then made a quick outlet pass to Emily Fox for a smooth pull-up jumper at the other end to make it 18-13. But same score, same player, different result. This time, Malone sinks a 2 of her 12 points. Purdue took a late halftime lead, but this is what happens when you don't get back on D. Katie Ohm outlets and then follows the play and hits her lone field goal of the contest to tie it up, but this is when Purdue starts to pull away. Look at the pretty play as Malone gets the hockey assist to Danielle Campbell as she finds Kiki Freeman under the basket to make it 49-40 Boilers. Purdue will never look back and finish with a score of 55-40. On Sunday, the Boilermakers entertained the Fighting Illini of Illinois, this time showing that pink is the new black. Decked out in white with pink trim, Fakara Malone will get the first bucket of the game with a quick scoop and score coast to coast for the layup. But early on, it would be about the Boilermakers' bigs. First, Danielle Campbell for 2. And then, for Sip's actually going to call for play 5, but it doesn't really matter because it's going to the same person. Danielle Campbell is going to get it under the basket for another 2. Finally, Lindsay Wisdom Hilton with a miss, and then a rebound, and then another 2. Purdue led at this point 16-7. Later on, Wisdom Hilton shows her ability from the elbow as well. She would finish with her 9th double-double of the season, 18 points and 10 boards as the Boilermakers dominate again, 68-50 over the Fighting Illini.
So what do you think? Are the women going to make it into the tournament?
Well, actually, ESPN.com's women's bracketologist Charlie Cream had them as a 9 seed last week. So with the last 2 Big Ten wins this last week, it's got to be higher.
Absolutely. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Now let's check out the men's highlights from this week.
On Valentine's Day, Purdue played the Hawkeyes of Iowa at Carver Hawkeye Arena. The Boilermakers are going to start off with a simple but effective play as E'Twaun Moore finds Jawan Johnson under the basket with a nice pick-and-roll play for the dunk. Then the Boilermakers are going to surrender one of few threes early on to Iowa's Aaron Fulmer to keep the game close, but Purdue only let them go 2 of 19 from behind the arc. Then you're going to see one of many Iowa misses from three-point range again. E'Twaun Moore grabs the rebound. Then he's going to eventually drive in and find Robbie Hummel at the top of the key, and he's going to say that my back does not hurt anymore with his only bucket of the game. Later in the second half, this is just ridiculous. Jawan Johnson goes to Sky for the block, keeps it in bounds, and then Chris Kramer is going to be under the basket for the layup and the foul. This is going to tie it up late in the game. But let's take another look as Jawan Johnson does what he does best, but this time we're going to take a look at it from a prettier angle. After that, the Boilermakers would go on to win a tight game and finish off the Hawkeyes 49-45. Now the highlights from the big Michigan State game on Tuesday, and the students are going to be camping out for this one, and this is going to be the first jumper made in Purdue's new unis, and we'll have more on that later, but right now we'll see just an overall solid performance as Hummel finds Johnson for 2 of 17 points. Then take a look here as Hummel makes a nice cut offensively, then the ultimate team defensive play as Hummel and Kramer both take a charge. Then it takes the rest of the team, Riddell, Moore, and Grant to help them up. The Boilermakers would end up cruising in this one and pummel the number 6 Spartans 72-54.
Purdue, Sarah, and Shelley Zhu have been twirling for just a little over 2 years now, which is a decade or 2 less than most of the other Purdue featured twirlers. But there's more than just batons and turns to Purdue's Silver Twins. It is a glamorous position at Purdue that very few students are even eligible to hold. It requires poise, composure, twirling skills, dancing, and a twin sibling. Yes, Sarah and Shelley Zhu are the Purdue Silver Twins, a featured twirling position in the Purdue All-American Marching Band.
We found out about the Silver Twin position from my mom was looking at the Purdue band online, and she saw a picture of Megan and Morgan, and we looked at it and we're like, wow, that's cool, but too bad we don't twirl.
Sarah and Shelley may seem like your average sophomores in the College of Liberal Arts, but their story is anything but ordinary.
I think a lot of people like to hear it because it's not necessarily, we started when we were twirling really young, we wanted to be the Silver Twins, and then we got it. It was kind of like we didn't expect it and we're new to it, and so we had to put a lot of extra work into it.
Aside from this being their first year as twirlers and featured twirlers at Purdue, their debut at the 2008 Olympics Festival was unforgettable.
We got ready and we had our Silver Twin shirts on, and we went out, took pictures with my grandparents and my dad who live in Beijing, which was really exciting for them to be there.
The Zhu sisters twirl every single day to continue improving their role as the Silver Twins. As one of only 8 sets of Silver Twins that are truly biological twins, they realize what kind of shoes they have to fill.
We have this connection that I can't explain to anyone, and I'm really glad that we had this opportunity, that this position was even available, that we could do. I never would have imagined, like when I was younger, when I first started dancing, that we would be able to perform in a position like this.
If you'd like to see the Silver Twins perform live, come check them out next Thursday in Mackey Arena at the women's halftime. Reporting for Fast Track, I'm Bree Swartz.
And here's a quick look at what is going on in other Purdue sports.
The 19th ranked Boilermakers were sporting a fresh look at their Michigan State game on Tuesday, wearing their newly designed Nike uniforms. The uniforms, which were unveiled on Monday, are available for sale at campus retailers. The Purdue women's golf team finished in 3rd place at the 54-hole Central District Invitational. 4 Purdue golfers placed in the top 15 as individuals, making the team ranked number 15 in the nation after their successful invitational. The men's tennis team defeated number 73 Maryland 4-3 on Sunday, giving them their first victory over a ranked opponent. The Boilermakers will take on number 45 Penn State this Sunday at home to open up the Big Ten matches. The Purdue women's swimming and diving team traveled to Ann Arbor, Michigan on Tuesday to meet up with conference opponents in the Big Ten championships. The Boilermakers finished 7th in the competition last year and hope to defend their title again this year.
That's all we have in sports this week. For more information on Purdue sports, log on to www.purduesports.com.
Good day, everyone. We're going to start off by taking a look at our national weather for Saturday. Across the majority of the Midwest, around Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Illinois, we should be seeing some significant snow showers, especially on Saturday. Milwaukee only getting up to 27 degrees. Kansas City a little bit warmer at 38. Boston along the East Coast up towards New England, 36 degrees, a little bit warmer down south in Atlanta, and 54 in the hot spot at Houston, down at 62 degrees. Taking a look at Sunday, we should be a little bit cooler, especially around our area. Minneapolis only getting up to 25, St. Louis 38, New York a little bit warmer at 35 degrees. Taking a look at our travel highlight, if you're going to the big game on Saturday, Purdue versus Indiana, Saturday at 2 p.m. should be 27 degrees by the time we're about to tip off, and snow showers are currently expected for Saturday. Taking a look at our weekend travel, generally a cold weekend across the Midwest, Indianapolis, Chicago, and Evansville. All those cities not getting out of the 30s and should be seeing precipitation. Depending on how cold it is, it should be either be ice or snow through the weekend. So we'll take a look at that as we go through the weekend. That's it for the national forecast. Now let's send it back to the studio.
Next up, we'll look at this week's Tech Minute.
And look at the exciting events coming up with the community calendar.
All this and more after this break.
You're watching Fast Track, student news worth watching, featuring Rebecca Chalon and Brandon Davis, Kyle Bloyd and Laura Hoffman, Bree Swartz and Eric Markham, and Kate Vanneman and Phil Wrighthouse. Also featuring your Fast Track weather team. Fast Track, student news worth watching.